2021. Have you guys had a good time? Yes? Have you enjoyed Supernatural all weekend long? Well, some may say we've saved the best for last. Please welcome to the stage, Misha Collins. Come on, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to tell all the other cast members you said that.
You can. You can. You know what? Everybody's been amazing, though.
No, but I'm the best, so that's great.
We saved the best for last. I totally. Do you guys agree?
Well,
Yeah.
Now you really put them on the spot. They have to clap now because it'd be awkward.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about Cass really resonates, I mean, so much with everyone in here? I mean, even as a casual viewer, me, the character was so, like, genuine in a weird sort of way and relatable. How did you create that, and what do you think it is specifically about the character that resonates with everyone?
I think that the main thing is just this. I mean, obviously, in this community, being socially awkward is like what we all are. And so Castiel, of course, is elevated to icon status in that community.
You know what's so funny? I was rewatching a lot of the episodes.
What I like doing is coming out on stage and insulting the audience. First thing out of the gate. Mark does that too?
Yeah.
God damn it, it's not even original what I'm doing.
It's still acceptable, though. You guys, clearly you got the memo about lining up. Good, you're lining up. We'll get through as many as we can.
Mark is so sweet and sentimental, isn't he? Oh, no, opposite of that. You were saying?
I was saying, I was rewatching some of the episodes, obviously, and your first episode, it really struck me as really interesting because now she liked it too, I guess. Nowadays, everything's CGI, but it really looked like those were those real sparks flying at your head.
They were real sparks.
I mean, you hit this like perfect moment of like coming in, being powerful, being strong, but yet I couldn't help think like, wow, they're like practically like lighting up his head. What was it like filming that scene?
It was trial by fire, I would say.
Yeah.
Quite literally. That first scene was my real first introduction to the Supernatural set. I hadn't really spoken to anyone yet. I hadn't gotten to know anyone yet. And in the first scene, I was supposed to be, very powerful and inured to the pain of sparks and gunshots and stab wounds. And as I was walking in, this epic, scene, they misted my head with water because they're like, just in case. The sparks they're not going to be hot, but just in case, so your hair doesn't catch on fire. And I was like, if they're not hot, then why might it catch on fire? And sure enough, so I'm walking through. I don't know if you know what do you know what squibs are?
Yes.
So, do you? Oh, my poor, ignorant friends. So, squibs are when you see in a movie, like when someone gets shot, you can see like an explosion and some blood comes out, right? And the clothes get ripped. The way they do that is they put this pad on under your clothing that has like little electric charges going to little pouches of actual gunpowder and sometimes blood. So when they press the button and with a remote control, it actually explodes, and it's like a half charge. It's about a half of the gunpowder that's in a bullet. So it's a real loud explosion that rips apart your clothes and sometimes shoots out a little blood. And needless to say, it is super startling. Like when that goes off, it's a gunshot happening on your body. And to be like, just keep walking while that's happening takes all of the focus and concentration you can possibly muster. So we did the first take, the squibs go off, Sparks come down. They're burning the shit out of my head. Very hot. Bang, bang, bang. I'm like, ah, ooh, completely startled and terrified by what was happening. And then we have to, and the director's like, Kim Manners was directing. That was the last episode he directed before he passed away. And he said, okay, reset. And you could just hear the dripping disappointment in his voice. He's like, why did we hire this guy? Because resetting with squibs and all of these like special effects on the lights is a huge deal. It takes literally an hour and 15 minutes just to reset it, just to try it again. So now I have all this pressure from the second take. I'm like, I got to not be startled. And so I was biting my cheek. I remember I was biting my cheek as hard as I could without drawing blood, just to like distract myself from it. And sure enough, the sparks come down, the squibs are going off, and I'm like, I'm not responding. It's just taking all my concentration. The sparks are coming down, and this time they forgot to wet my hair, and the sparks are coming down, and I hear, this is not a hyperbole, I hear it sizzling on my scalp. It's like, and it's burning through my scalp. And I'm like, we're going to get this take. So that was my first 2 hours on set of Supernatural. It's like, this is actually hell.
That's amazing. Well, you guys rewatch that scene after hearing the story, and I promise you won't be disappointed. I know.
But there was another take. I didn't flinch
I
because I was afraid
when
of
they
getting
stuck
fired.
the knife in there. I'm like, ah. Yes, hi. We'll start over here. Hi, how are you?
Hi. I'm just gonna ask, what is your favorite candy?
What is your favorite candy?
Candy or candle?
Candy.
Candy.
Why are you asking me this question?
Because I don't know what any other question.
Do you have a favorite candy?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, so maybe that's why you're asking. You think about candy a lot. What's your favorite candy?
Honestly, I'd have to go with a Hershey bar.
A classic.
A Hershey bar?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know anyone's favorite thing was a Hershey bar. I've never once in my life seen a Hershey bar at a checkout and been like, God, I really want that.
So are you more like
You know what I could go for right now? A Hershey bar. Said no one I've ever heard. I'm sounding like Mark? Oh, fuck. So, Almond Joy, I would say, is the thing that my kids pick out of their candy on Halloween to give to me. So I guess I like that. I like Raisinets. I used to go to the movies. My God.
That's very controversial.
This whole section just looked at me like I said I was a white supremacist. Okay, so Raisinets are not popular.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. Ooh, sorry. So I love how they started playing up your like Russian background towards the very end, and when the shaman said, you know, I like this side of you. It's very Russian, Castiel.
Oh, you mean because we had the Russian?
Because you're Russian.
Here's the thing. I'm not Russian.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm not.
Anything? Do you eat Russian foods? Do
No.
you follow any Russian superstitions?
My
Anything?
mother was a hippie. So that's why I have the name Misha and the name Krushnik, which is my legal birth-given last name. We don't even know where it comes from. It's like 6 generations back. I'm not I'm not very Russian.
Aw.
I think I'm 11% Ashkenazi Jew based on 23andMe, so there's that, and probably some of that is Russian.
Yeah.
But it's not my main thing.
All right,
I'm sorry to
thanks.
disappoint. Are you Russian?
Yeah, I am, of course. That's why I'm.
That's why you're asking.
Yeah, that's why I really got
Just
into
like
it,
this
yeah.
candy person, just people are just asking questions about their own interests. How Russian are you?
I was born in what was the USSR and
Really?
moved here when I was 4. So technically, I don't have a country anymore. But I was born in the Ukraine. So because there's no USSR. When I was born, it was the USSR.
I see. You don't have a homeland anymore. Okay, I don't know if I agree with that, but are your parents still alive?
Yeah, yeah,
And do you speak Russian?
yeah, yeah.
Not great.
It's they kind of, the Russians laugh at me a little bit sometimes, and make fun of my grammar, but yeah, I can get by. So
How do you say supernatural in Russian? It's kind of long-winded.
oh, see, that one I don't know. I
Um,
should.
How do you say I don't really speak Russian in Russian?
Я не так хорошо говорю по-русски.
Я неправильно говорю по-русски.
Well, thank
Спасибо
you.
большое. Пока.
Oh, here, she just gave it to me. Sverkiestetveinoye. Yeah, no.
Yeah, really believable
You're right, it's
pronunciation.
it's-
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. First, I just wanted to say that I love you and all the acts you do. I've watched some of them, and then I also wanted.
Then how can you speak to all of them? Hi. You asked a question yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes. I remember.
Yes. I was also wondering what your favorite movie was.
My favorite movie?
Yes.
I don't know.
Either one that you've starred in.
Probably that I starred in. There
It
aren't a
can be
lot of
either.
those.
I don't know.
Hey, Ken. I am in Pittsburgh. I'm on stage right now in front of a large audience.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Can they hear me right now?
They can hear you.
Tell them. Oh my God. Oh, this is awesome.
Should we have a very personal, private conversation?
Yes,
Great.
absolutely.
Are you?
Hold on, Misha. Wait. First thing is you have to tell everyone that I used to live in Pittsburgh and I love Pittsburgh.
He's lying, guys. He didn't.
Yes, I did. I went to Carnegie Mellon. I lived in Squirrel Hill.
What do you miss about Pittsburgh, Ken?
Well, I miss the Steelers, obviously. And I miss the food on the South Side.
Where should I eat tonight?
Oh my God, I haven't lived there in 20 years. I couldn't tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, ask the crowd. Ask the crowd. They'll know better.
Where should I eat tonight? They are not coordinating well together. They're just a jumbled mess of voices. Hey, I'll call you back a little later, okay?
All right, that seems like a good plan. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bonus. Okay. Did you finish your question?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Hi.
Hello.
Do you want to finish it?
Yeah. Favorite movie? Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did finish the question.
Didn't get an answer.
Right. I think I don't know. There's so many movies, as you know, and Stonehenge Apocalypse is not good. I really love The Matrix. I have made my kids watch it with me a couple of times. It's a fantastic Buddhist parable. The subsequent, just the first movie. The other ones should be burned. And then, I don't know. There are a lot of weird movies that I think have strange sentimental attachment for me. I love Down by Law, Jim Jarmusch's movie with Roberto Benigni. I love Tampopo, which is like this weird, sexy food Japanese language movie that I saw when I was too young to watch it. That's all I have for you.
All right, thank you.
What's
Thank
your
you.
favorite movie?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's a hard question, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
You usually have to do like top 5.
Give me any movie that you like. Do you hate movies?
No. No, I normally watch more TV shows than movies.
Okay. Wow. Way to dodge the question. What TV shows do you like?
Supernatural.
No shit.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you. Hi.
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 Hi. My name is Jen from Cleveland, and I just wanted to say that I've been listening to Bridgewater, and I'm loving it so far. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I have to say, I had so much fun doing that. It was a strange experience. So Bridgewater is this podcast that is weirdly doing remarkably well online. It's stayed at #1 for now 6 weeks in fiction podcasts, which is, there's a lot of competition out there. And I recorded much of it in Richard Spate's closet.
It's a great cast.
Yes, and Richard has been trying to get me to come out of the closet for a long time. And it's a great cast, but it was also kind of interesting because on Supernatural, we would record an episode in 8 days of filming. And for Bridgewater, we would do an episode in 6 hours.
Wow.
And so you were just like pouring through the material, and just, there was no waiting for lighting setups, there was no waiting for camera setups, there was no waiting for squibs to be reset. And it was really kind of remarkably fun to get into in that way. So I really enjoyed it, much more than I thought I would. I hope I get to do more.
Me too. My question for you is, with your book of poems coming out, will you be doing an audiobook where you're the voice? Please?
This is really a request.
I was going to do that, but then I found out you can just do voice to, or text to voice. So the whole
So
thing is
Cass
going to,
will be narrating
it'll
it.
just be Siri reading my poems, which I think will be much better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For those of you who have no idea what she's talking about, I have a book of poetry coming out. It's called Some Things I Still Can't Tell You. Some Things I Still Can't Tell You. If you could just do me a favor and just right now, just go pre-order it online. Be a big help. If we get into like bestseller lists in the first couple of weeks that the book is on stands, then more bookstores will pick it up and more people will see it. So seriously, just pre-order it, please.
That actually is
You
how
can-
you get a book on the bestseller list.
You have,
Yeah.
please. I don't want to seem desperate, but pretty please.
Let me ask
It's
you
Some
this.
Things I Still Can't Tell You. Please order it. Don't make me beg, but I'm begging you, please.
Misha, let me ask you this. You've published individual poems, but what made you want to do a collection?
I have done this thing for many years, which is in January of each year, I write down my goals for the coming year. I've been doing this for about 20 years. And compiling my poems, putting them together and publishing them as a book has been on my list for the coming year for about 10 years. And I'm always like, at the end of the year, I'm like, fuck, I didn't get to the thing. But I have this, I've been writing poems for a long time, and it's weird. I don't know why I want to do it, because it's not like I feel like the world is going to be a better place with my poems in it. It's just something that I feel like I put a lot of work into, and a lot of love into, and I just want them out there in a book, in the world, and there's no real reason for it. It's not like it's gonna, no one gets rich off poetry except for very wealthy poets, but
It's a passion project.
yeah, no, in a weird way, I think it's also, it's sort of a passion project, but it's also just in a weird way, I think me just wanting to sort of catalog a chapter of my life, and somehow it feels important to me that it be in book form, but I don't have a real explanation for it. I was at a dinner party maybe 15 years ago, and I had just gotten a couple of poems published for the first time, and it felt very exciting to me. And I was sitting at this dinner party with this guy that was a professor of Russian literature, and he said, why would anyone, we had just met at this party, and he said, why would anyone want to read your poems? And I was like, oh my God, you heartless. Like, first of all, I can't believe that you are teaching students, because that's not a good attitude. And second of all, I don't know why anyone would want to read them. And it gave me, like, it actually, that one comment from this stranger made me kind of self-conscious about the enterprise for a long time. I was like, why am I trying to, I'm not a poet. Why am I trying to put these out there? But ultimately, I just decided I did want to do it, and I don't care. And if no one wants to read them, that's okay, but please, all of you, read them.
They do. They
And
do.
also, I would like to point out that there is now a poem in the book about that motherfucker. And
I love that. I love that. Anyway, thank you wherever you went. We'll come over here now. Hi.
Hi. I got a stupid question, even though you
Great.
just
Finally.
spread your heart. Okay.
not all of these highfalutin questions about movies and candies. What's your stupid question?
In the episode where Dean was mad at Cass and you were in the supermarket threatening the cashier for pie, did he ever get Dean his pie? And what type? Think carefully. Hey, that...
Yes.
Type?
Apple.
And that answers your question.
Should have went with cherry.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello.
I had no idea what she was talking about. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Can I remember I have literally zero idea what you were talking about just now. I do know that Dean likes pie in the show. That's all. But we were shooting an episode in the convenience store, and when we go on location all the time. I have to use the past tense. We went on location. We went on location all the time, and we would go into a convenience store somewhere in the greater Vancouver area, and then the art department would come in and dress the set in there. So it would be a convenience store, and we would be using some of the things that were naturally in the convenience store, but they'd change the signs and the neon and maybe fill out the shelves with bags of chips that didn't say Lay's on them or whatever. Like they put in their own set deck in there, and they put out Dean was coming into. Maybe I was going into the convenience store to shop for something for Dean. I really can't remember. But anyway, they had busty Asian beauties on the magazine stand. And I was like, oh, this is very clever. It's like, there wasn't a thing in this episode where I was I wasn't buying a copy for Dean. But it was on the shelf, and I picked it up and opened it. And of course, busty Asian beauties, I don't know if you know this, but if you look online, it's very difficult to find. It's not a real thing, right? It's just in Supernatural. So I opened it up expecting that it was Entertainment Weekly, that they had put this Busty Asian Beauties cover on. I opened it up, and it was Hustler magazine that they had put the Busty Asian Beauty. I was like, oh my God! Like, somebody in the art department had a good sense of humor, and we're like, well, if you're picking this up, we're going to deliver.
All right, so my
Okay.
question for you
Check that off the list. Yes.
is, what is one TV show that was canceled or ended before you would have liked for it to end?
Arrested Development. I loved that show. I thought it was really funny, and then ultimately Netflix rebooted it, but it wasn't funny. In the reboot 10 years later, it was not good. My 10-year-old has watched all of Arrested Development back and forth, like many times. He loves it, which I think is an indication that he has good taste.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What other shows? Oh, I really loved. No, that's not true. I loved Heroes, the show Heroes.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
For the first season. So I wish they had done more of the first season. There was a show called Invasion that I really liked, and I was like, where'd that go? What happened? And I was really glued to the screen for the entire Trump presidency, but I was glad that was canceled.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Misha. My name's Megan. I wanted to ask you a supernatural question.
Okay.
So I wanted to get a sense of what it was like for you to film some of the more meta or like fourth wall breaking episodes, and especially the French mistake. So specifically, what was your reaction when you first got that script, and how did you end up making the decision to actually tweet along when the episode aired?
I did that? God, that's clever. I got the script, and we all had to. There was a whole conversation leading up to that episode. Like, we all had to have our lawyers confer with Warner Brothers and release them to actually use our real names. And it was this whole, like, would you be willing to sort of satirize yourselves? And if so, can you get... Anyway, it was a big thing. And then the script finally came, and I was like, oh, it's kind of just like me. There's nothing really that... I don't know. You're not really taking the piss out of me enough here. So Ben Edlund was the writer, and I sent him an email saying, can you just make me like the quintessential douchey Hollywood actor? And he was like, yeah. But then he didn't really, then the script came back, and it really wasn't that, it still wasn't that douchey. So I made some choices just in the episode to I was like pushing the hairstylist away from me in one scene and ignoring the PAs, which anyone who's worked on this show knows that I actually do anyway. But I just I tried to up it a little bit and make myself more douchey, and my manager watched that episode and called me afterwards, and he was like, Misha, it's so cool just to be able to just to watch you just being yourself. Which was cool feedback. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
old man.
I'm not old.
You're not? You look pretty old to me. You
Stop it.
You must be at least 30.
No.
How about 10?
No.
8?
No.
9?
No.
7?
No.
Come on. Are you 6 years old?
Yes.
What? I was going to get it right eventually. Well, hello, young man.
What are you allergic to?
What are you allergic to?
What am I allergic to? That's a great question. Do you realize that no one has ever... I've done so many conventions, and no one has ever asked that question before?
Good job,
It
buddy.
seems like low-hanging fruit. It seems like the first question anyone should ask. What are you allergic to?
Nothing.
Really? So this is also not like your thing. That's cool. I don't know. Well, yeah, he has something.
I just really wanted to know.
You did? Why did you want to know that question?
Because why not?
Yeah. This guy's going to wind up hosting a CNN show someday. I am not, as far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything. I used to think that I was, I used to think that I was immune to poison ivy, and so I would like pick bouquets of poison ivy. But then one day I got in a bike accident and rolled around in a field of poison ivy, and it turns out, yep, it can get me.
Okay.
And I used to get bee stings, and my hand would, when I was a kid, and my hand would like swell up really bad, and I got stung by a bee in my throat when I drank a soda that had a bee in it. And I had to go to the hospital for that because it was hard to breathe. You want to get that?
What?
But that's about it. I don't think I'm.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good question, though. Good job, bud.
Yeah. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, this is Misha. What was your favorite version of Cass since you did so many over the course of Supernatural?
My favorite Cass was Cass, just regular Cass. I liked playing the evolution of that character over time because it was really natural. I just, I don't know, it was an interesting experience as an actor to play a character for so long who starts in one place and evolves to another very different place. You know, when Cass first came on the scene, he had never been exposed to humans. And then he went through all of these life experiences that included being human and developing deep empathy and love for humans. And by the end of the series, he was a completely different character than he was when he started. And yet I, as the actor who was playing him, I didn't have to constantly recalibrate. It was just this life experience that he was having was informing how the character changed. And I didn't have to make like calculating decisions on how to play that because it was just, this is just what's happening to him. He became like a real person to me. Or a real entity, as the case may be. And I got to just see him kind of unfurl, evolve, grow, degrade, you know, all of it. So that was my favorite. But I also really loved playing Lucifer. Because it was so stark and so different and remarkably just fun. It's fun to be like, have this moment where you're sort of like, oh wow, this is like what it's like to be Mark Shepard in real life. Thanks.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, my name's Blaze. And
Hi, Blaze.
And my question is actually for my girlfriend. She couldn't make it here today.
Okay.
Did you research mental health and personality disorders for acting for the show, since there was a lot of psychological warfare occurring between the characters?
No, I did not. I probably should have. At times, I wonder how much damage we caused to viewers. I'll occasionally meet people who are sometimes just 6 years old who watch the show and wonder what kind of lasting damage that's causing.
Thank you. I'm sorry
Thank you
your
very
girlfriend couldn't be here, but
Thank you either way, Misha.
Thank you.
thank you. Hi.
Thank you, even though you didn't answer my question. Hi.
Hi. This question's actually from my daughter, who is having a little bit of anxiety standing up here and talking to you
Okay.
because you're her favorite character. And
Where is your daughter?
she's right back here. Why don't you wave? Put her on the spot.
Well, that's not helpful.
She was
Just whatever you do, don't call attention to me.
Hey,
Everyone, my daughter's very anxious right now.
it'll
She's
help,
that one over there.
it'll help her later in life.
Yeah.
She was just wondering, what's the strangest or weirdest thing you've ever done?
I certainly can't tell you that.
How about what you can tell a room full of strangers with children?
That's a lot of caveats. Strangest thing I've ever done? I don't even know where to start. What? Scavenger hunt? No, that is not strange.
I think calling about the rhino scat.
Calling about the rhino scat was also not it.
Your recipes in your cookbook are strange.
What?
Some of the recipes in your cookbook are pretty strange.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Right now I'm doing this show called Road Food, which is really just exploring America through the lens of food. So I'm getting to know these little subcultures and communities by the dishes that they serve. And the film crew is very small and very nimble, and we're just able to sort of follow threads and just like follow people into their little worlds. People that weren't necessarily expecting us to show up on this day, but are quite often very open-hearted and willing to just share their lives with me for a moment. And it's been really fascinating, but it's also, I've been doing this now just for a week. I mean, we just started this show, and it's hearkening me back to an earlier chapter in my life when I kind of did that. I just explored the world when I was, 18, 20, 25. I would follow threads and allow adventures to unfold all the time. And I would go into situations that, like, when I think about it, I'm like, I can't believe that I did that. Like, that was really dangerous, really creepy, really gross. But I was always just like, I had a very adventurous spirit, which I think in the last, like I've had this whole career and kids and, you know, kind of a more professional adult existence in the last 20 years. And a lot of that adventurous spirit has just taken a back seat. So this has been a little reminder of like, oh, that used to be kind of who I was in the world. And it's nice to be doing it again. But I was in, you know, the weirdest sex clubs you've ever seen. I used to go into stores and pretend that I was a Russian foreign exchange student and get them to let me go into the kitchen and cook my own meal. I had a lot of adventures. I've told this story before, but one time I was with my friend Darius and we were on this long, like 400-mile bike ride, and we stopped off at this house this is a good example. This kind of thing was happening all the time. Stopped off at this house in rural Maine to go fill up our water bottles out of the spigot on this house, and a guy pulls up in a pickup truck and comes out with a shotgun, pointed at us like, what are you doing at what are you doing at my house here, guys? What are you doing? Get off my fucking yard. And we were like, we're riding for the rhino. We're raising money to save the rhino, which was not true. And started rifling through our bags to try to find the pledge sheet to get this guy to donate money for our cause. And he's like, "Oh, all right, guys. Well, no, I'm not gonna donate right now." But he put his gun away and was like, "Yeah, you want to come inside and get some? You want to get some food with me?" So he brought us into his house and made us a meal.
That's amazing.
Great.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. And just so you guys know, we have about 5 minutes left. Come over here.
Hi, I'm Shay, and this question comes from my friend Char. So in the episode after Castiel's confession, Dean got a call from Cass. When he answers, Castiel says, "Dean, I'm here. I'm hurt. Can you let me in?" Dean then throws open the bunker doors to reveal Lucifer.
By the way, spot on. Really good
Very
Cass
good.
impression.
Thank you. Where was I? I'm so sorry. In the show's past, Lucifer only poses to people as their deceased romantic loved ones to gain access. I was just wondering if you were aware of that parallel being drawn when you voice recorded for that.
Certainly not.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, so when he's
Jesus,
trying...
you people.
When he's trying
Nothing
to
gets
possess
past
Nick,
you.
he appears as Sarah, Nick's dead wife. When he's trying to possess Sam, he appears as Jess, who is, of course, Sam's dead girlfriend, which actually there were a lot to choose from. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. I'm so sorry.
Did you just call Sam a slut?
And then he also, with Vince Vincente, appears as Jen, I believe, Jen's dead wife. So when we saw, for Dean, when it was Cass, it was kind of, an interesting
I see.
parallel.
Well, thank you for pointing that out to me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I wanted to ask what it's like to do a convention after all this time.
It's strange to come back. I feel like we're all in this kind of tentative liminal space where it's like we're back, but we're not really back. We're here, but we're masked and we're not touching each other. And it also feels like is this just a touchstone and then we're going to shut everything down again? There's so much uncertainty. I was just having a conversation with a very dear old friend this afternoon, and we were talking about how we both have kids that are about the same age, and we were talking about how I'm getting these cameo requests, and which is something I never thought I would do, and I'm getting these cameo requests, and they're saying. And sometimes people say things like, sometimes I'm going through a hard time, and I just want a message, like, can you just tell me everything's going to be okay? And I have not been able to say that lately, and I'm realizing that things have been so hard and so apocalyptic and catastrophic in so many respects, whether it's in the political realm, climate change really happening, we're actually witnessing it happening at this accelerated rate that's kind of horrifying. This pandemic, which is killing millions of people around the world, and who knows, it might not be ending. I used to call myself a pathological optimist, and I always felt like I genuinely thought all the time, like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be great. And now, for the first time, I'm not sure that's true, and don't know what other bad things are gonna come down the pipe. And so it's interesting being back here, because it doesn't feel like I'm not coming back to it with like open arms and like everything's fine, we're all good now. It's like, I hope we're good. I hope this is going to work out. I hope we can do this again, in the long term. But right now it feels, like I said, like kind of tenuous. Like, I hope this is real. Yeah. You didn't really want such an earnest answer, but you got one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's going to be okay. You can't tell me that, but thank you.
Thank you. We have time for one question more from each side. Hi.
Hi, I'm Sam, and I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia, and I really like the way that you're able to portray so many different versions of the same character. And my question is, if you had to pick a song to describe Castiel, just regular Castiel, what would it be?
A song to describe regular Castiel.
I don't have a song for you. I'm sorry. Do you have one?
That's actually in one of my playlists. Angel with a Shotgun, or I believe there's a song called Trenchcoat Angel.
Well, those seem a little on the nose, don't they?
Did you write the songs?
But
I did not,
I'll take both.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Very creative question.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Good morning.
Morning. It's not morning, but okay.
It is. So when you debuted, you came in as an angel that just took a shotgun blast to the chest, and it made angels seem invulnerable, almost omnipotent. You were one of the most powerful things the show had seen, and that very quickly was downplayed, where angels were just being battered around by Sam and Dean. And I was curious to know your opinion on how that power dynamic changed, and maybe if you know why that happened.
I certainly know exactly why that happened. Castiel came on the scene, and angels were introduced to the show, and it was awesome to have this extremely powerful character suddenly. But then Castiel became an ally of Sam and Dean. He was there to help them and ride around in the Impala with them, and ultimately fawn over them. And the writers very quickly realized, well, this sucks. Like, if there's this guy with them who can fix any problem with the snap of his fingers, that's going to make this all really boring. Like, it's got to be a hard struggle. So almost immediately, they started taking away my powers, or figuring out reasons why I couldn't, if I time travel, it sucks all my energy out and I'm almost dead. Or all angels lost their wings, because the fact that Cass could just teleport anywhere made everything too easy. So my powers were sacrificed on the altar of storytelling, in Supernatural, unfortunately. But there were many times when it was very inconsistent. Like, there was never a time when, Castiel, early on, he could just, like, put his hand out and, like, knock a wall down. And later on in the show, it was like Castiel was, like, trying to break a door down, but couldn't do it, So it wasn't terribly consistent.
Thank you.
I hope none of the writers are watching. Yes.
Misha, we're out of time. You guys, thank you so much. It's been an incredible weekend. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? Misha, you're
Thank you
totally
all.
amazing.
Thank you all for coming out and braving what I hope is the tail end of this pandemic. And thank you all for being so lovely. It was really nice seeing you this weekend. And I have one other addendum to this. Rob and I are doing, there were some people that missed photos earlier, and so Rob and I are adding like a short photo session in like 45 minutes or something like that. At 6:30.
6:30.
So if you want to come say hi to us there, you can. Okay.
And don't forget to pre-order his book, Misha Collins.